Before a London pewter could sell a single piece under his own name, he had to walk to Pewter's Hall and strike his personal mark, his touch, into an official copper plate kept there under the company's own eye. Not stamp a piece with it, strike the mark itself, once, witnessed, into the Hall's own record. Only a touch struck there counted as registered. A man could spend 30 years striking that same mark into good metal, deep, clean, honest work, tankard after tankard, charger after charger, and if his touch had never been struck onto the Hall's own plate, an inspector holding one of his pieces up to the light could not credit it to him. Not because the pewter was bad, it might be the finest metal in the shop that week. Not because the mark was forged, it was his real mark struck by his real hand, because that mark existed nowhere the guild could check it against. Here's the turn. The piece being genuine was never the question the inspection was built to answer. Skill produces good pewter. It does not produce an entry in a ledger that only one hall controls. A brilliant, honest craftsman with an unregistered touch and a forger who'd copied someone else's registered touch stroke for stroke gets sorted the exact same way by an inspector checking one thing only. Is this mark on file? One gets credited to no one. The other gets wrongly credited to a stranger. Neither outcome has a thing to do with the metal. So the fix was never in the workshop. Striking the same true mark harder or twice or with more confidence changes nothing, because the gap was never between the hand and the metal. It was between the maker and the one ledger that decides whose touch counts. The only fix is walking the mark itself to the hall and striking it where the record actually lives. Enforcement precedes execution, but a mark, however honestly struck, however many years went into learning to strike it, is not enforcement until it's struck where the ledger that adjudicates it can find it. A beautiful touch on an unregistered plate protects no one, proves nothing, satisfies no inspector standing at the door, no matter how good the work behind it. Today, a real contribution to an open source project's review process kept failing an automated check, even after the actual legal step behind it had been completed, even after a manual recheck was requested twice. The work itself was never in question. The commit carrying it was written under an email address that had simply never been registered to the contributor's account on the platform running the check. So the platform's own ledger showed no known author for that mark at all, no matter how many times the check reran. Rerunning it again was never going to fix anything. The fix was restriking the exact same, already correct contribution under an address the platform's own record already had on file for that identity. The very next attempt, the check passed clean. Sibling to the bell that rings first, a record proving one thing and not another, mistaken for proving both. This is the attribution member of that family, not whether the mark is genuine, but whether it was ever struck where anyone keeping the ledger could find it. No denigration here. The pewter's craft is real. The work behind an unregistered touch can be the best in the shop. Only the mistake gets corrected. That quality and registration are the same test. They aren't. One proves the hand, The other proves the hand is known. This is not commentary. It is category formation.